Hello and welcome back to Online Grammar. Today we are going to talk about very exciting noun phrases. Now this is part 1 and next week we will do part 2. So get ready. Today is all about nouns, countable and uncountable, and the articles that go before them. Okay, remember to take notes and we'll stop along the way and see how you're doing with some practice exercises. Let's go. Right, what is a noun? So a noun, you probably know, is what we call a naming word. It's a person, place, a thing, or idea. Usually a noun is something you can touch, but it can also be something that you can't touch. So something you can't touch would be like joy or bravery or mile. These are things that you can't touch. Let's talk about nouns. Right, what is a noun? A person, a place, a thing, or an idea. For example, Ed Sheeran. He's a pop star, right? It's a nouns. And here is the Eiffel Tower, and the city it's in is Paris. Can also be a thing like apple or food. The one that is often confusing to people is when it's an idea like love or joy. That's a noun. Now we're going to talk about 3 kinds of nouns: proper nouns, countable nouns, and uncountable nouns today. We're not going to talk about pronouns. Let's start with proper nouns. Proper nouns in English are things like names, such as the Titanic, it's the name of a ship, and Leonardo DiCaprio, who is that cute guy right there. And it can also be something like the Space Needle, which is in Seattle, so that's a place. These are places. It can be days or months, such as Friday or April. It can also be titles of books and names of people, as we said before. So here, Deathly Hallows is the name of that book. Proper nouns in English begin with a capital letter, like this. Okay, let's do a little practice right away. Here, you're going to see some proper nouns. Read the paragraph. Some of the words are proper nouns and should be capitalized. Click on the proper nouns that should be capitalized. Now be careful. Don't click on everything that is at the beginning of a sentence unless it's a proper noun. Okay, here are 2 paragraphs. Which ones of these are proper nouns? Let's check your answers. Here they are. Notice we have Spokane, that's a place in Washington, where Mukagawa is. It's a city in the state of Washington. Washington is capitalized. The United States, and there's Washington again, and then Seattle. Spokane is the 2nd largest city after Seattle, and the first people who lived here were Spokane Indians, capital I, and then Mukagawa is also capitalized. How did you do? All right, let's now talk about countable nouns. We're going to talk about countable and uncountable nouns in English. Countable nouns, like it says, can be counted, singular or plural. So if it's singular, it's one thing. So we use a or an plus the noun. So here's a baby, there's an apple, a child. We can say one plus that noun. So 1 page, for example. Now it can also be plural. That's more than one. And when it's more than one, we usually add an S at the end, like babies or apples. But sometimes we have irregular plurals, like children. And then you can say 2 plus the noun plus S with countable nouns. Now, as we said, some plural nouns are irregular. Here are a couple of those. We have 1 man but 2 men, children, not a foot but feet, Plural of tooth is teeth. Mouse, plural is mice. And we say one person but two people. I think you already know these, but let's do a little practice. Here are some irregular and regular plurals. Which is which? Can you make these plural? Let's check your answers. My husband and I have 3 children. Friday is the worst. I usually have 2 quizzes on Friday. That's regular. Okay, do you prefer reading novels or short stories? Can you set the table? The forks and knives are in that drawer. There's an irregular plural, the VES. And there are 2 women and 3 men on the committee. Notice the pronunciation. It's women. The sound there is I and I. Women. Okay? Lips are out for this. Women. Good. And men. Okay? Notice this is not woman, but women. 2 I sounds. Now remember, we said if it's singular, it's a or an plus a noun, a baby, an apple. What is the rule for that? What is the difference? A versus an. Probably you think it's a consonant like B, C, D, F, G, and an plus a vowel. But that's wrong. It's not an plus a vowel. It's an plus a vowel sound. So, for example, we say a European. There, that's an E, which is a vowel, but the sound is Y. The sound is European. The Y sound is not a vowel sound, so we say a European. And here we say an hour because the sound is hour. That's a vowel sound. Okay, so let's check. When do you use a or an? Fill in the blanks. Okay, let's check your answers. Midori is eating a cookie, and Rika is eating an apple. I have an idea, but maybe you have a better one. It takes an hour to get to Seattle from Tacoma. Bridget wore a uniform to school. That's true. It's raining, but Yuna doesn't have an umbrella. Rie goes to a local college, but Ayumi attends a university. Did you get that one? Good job. Okay, notice the different spellings of the endings. Here they have the regular nouns end in an S, but if it has a, we call these a snake sound, z, we add an ES. And if it ends in an F or an FE, the F changes to a V, like leaf and leaves. If it ends in a Y, we add an S. If it ends in a consonant plus a Y, like T is a consonant, then we change that Y to I and add ES. And if it ends in a vowel plus an O, we add S. But if it's a consonant plus an O, we add ES. Okay, so here, this list is all of the ES's. That's a snake sound, consonant plus a Y, or a consonant plus an O. Let's check how you do with the plural spellings. Let's check your answers. You get 3 wishes. I love animals. I have 2 dogs and 2 cats. My dad used to tell us stories. That's IES. I have to take 2 buses. That snake sound ends in an ES. 10 minutes. Hours. Tomatoes and videos. Okay, notice here this is a consonant plus the O, so ES. Right. Now, that S sound also has different pronunciations. Here are the rules. If it ends in that sibilant sound, sibilant means like a snake sound, all of those sounds, then it sounds like is. So race becomes races, buses, boxes. One way to think of this is that it adds an extra syllable. Race is one syllable. Races is two syllables. So this one is the most important one to remember because it adds an extra syllable. Now, if you listen to the ending of these sounds, listen, there's no voice. P, k, t, f, f, f. All of those, no voice. If there's no voice sound at the end, then we add the no voice s. So sleeps, p, s, sleeps. This one, however, there's a voice at the end. So this is b. If it ends in a voiced sound, like b, then we have a z. Crabs. Can you hear the z? Crabs. Words. Bags. Okay, so if you're wondering, is it voiced or unvoiced, you just have to say the final sound, p. There's no voice, then it's a s sound. Let's try this. You are going to listen to the audio, pay attention to the ending sounds, and then drag these to the correct box. So if you hear wishes, you're going to pull it over here to where the snake sound is. Listen to the audio and put it in the correct place.
You get 3 wishes.
I love animals. I have 2 dogs and 4 cats.
My dad used to tell us stories every night.
I have to take 2 buses to get to university.
I'll see you in 10 minutes.
How many hours does he sleep every night?
I really love the taste of tomatoes.
Can you send me those videos that you took yesterday?
Right, let's check your answers. So, wishes, animals, dogs, cats, stories, buses, minutes, hours. Can you hear the zzz there? Tomatoes, videos. Nice job. We're going to now talk about uncountable nouns. Uncountable nouns are nouns that you can't count. Of course not. So you can't count that water. That's not 1 water, 2 water. It's just water, right? Other things that you can't count, rice, mist or fog, materials, and wood. Can't count them because they're just there. So they're kind of in groups like this. Food, beef, butter, cheese, meat, rice, salt. Those are all uncountable nouns. Uncountable liquids. Materials like leather and metal and oil. Subjects in school, art, geography, English. Weather, fog, ice, rain. And other things. Pay attention to the other things. Advice, not countable. News. See that S at the end? But still, we can't count the news. Furniture, money, noise, work, information. These are all uncountable nouns. Uncountable means you cannot count them, of course. So how do you know? If you're not sure, you can always look in the dictionary. Bread, for example, uncountable. Slice, like a slice of pizza, is countable. Pay attention when you're learning new words to what is uncountable. Just imagine everything is countable unless it isn't, and then make a note. Okay. Uncountable nouns are special because you cannot make them plural. We don't use a plus an uncountable noun. We don't say an advice. That's wrong. We would say, can you give me some advice? Right, we don't use one plus an uncountable noun. Homework is uncountable, so you cannot say one homework. Usually you would say, I have one assignment. Assignment is countable. Homework is not countable. And we don't use S with these uncountable nouns, so we don't say advices or homeworks. That's wrong. Okay. The other thing to notice is that these uncountable nouns take a singular verb. So that advice was really helpful. That's singular, not the advice were helpful. My grammar homework is fun, not are fun. Bread doesn't cost. There's the third person S singular. And rain has been falling. Uncountable nouns take a singular verb. Right. Which is countable and which is uncountable? Drag the words into the correct boxes. Right. Let's check your answers. There we go. School, countable. One school, two schools. Sugar, uncountable. Dogs. Happiness is uncountable. Dictionaries are countable. Advice, uncountable. Understanding, uncountable. People is countable. Countries. Education is uncountable. Right, here's another tip for you. Groups. Countable nouns are often members of a group. So for example, here we have apples, oranges, pears. These are countable. One apple, two apples. Another example, chairs, desks, and tables. Bracelets, necklaces, and rings. Dollars, yen, and pounds. Fields, lakes, and mountains. Seconds, minutes, hours, months, and years. Now, those are members of the group, but the group name are often uncountable nouns. Do you know the uncountable nouns that are the group names for these things? Let's see if you can match them. Apples, oranges, and pears are fruit. Chairs, desks, and tables, furniture. Bracelet, necklaces, and rings, jewelry. Careful with the pronunciation here. Jew, your lips are going to come out. Jewelry. Ooh, that's a tough one. The L and the R together. Jewelry. Jewelry. You'll do better if your lips are sticking out. Jewelry. Nice. Dollar, yens, and pounds. Money. That's a little strange to say that money is uncountable. But money, think of it as a big sort of idea, and you count the group members. You count dollars, but you don't count money. Fields, lakes, and streams, nature. Seconds, minutes, and hours is time. Right. Remember we said uncountable nouns are not plural. So, how do we talk about more than one? Well, then we use a countable noun before the uncountable noun, like this. This is water, uncountable, but this, 2 drops of water, 2 glasses of water, 2 bottles of water, And what's this? Do you know? What is that? It's a puddle of water. Repeat after me. Puddle. Yeah, puddle is like a small little lake, but tiny, right? Puddle. You can walk in this. You kind of have to just remember these. So what is this? What are these things? Dun-dun. This one, a loaf of bread. Remember, if it ends in F, then it's an irregular plural. So this is 2 loaves of bread. Good. And this is a cup of tea, a piece of pie, but also we say a piece of advice. You can count the piece of advice. How about this? That is a jar of jam. Good. You just have to learn these. You just have to remember these. So here is a list of them. Bottle of milk, a glass of water, a jug of water, a cup of tea, a packet of tea, or a box of tea maybe. Jar of honey. Can you see the honey there? A loaf of bread, a slice of bread. Look at that. One piece. You can say a piece of bread, but better is a slice of bread. A slice is a verb where you cut it. A carton of milk, can of Coke, bottle of Coke, a bowl of sugar, a kilo of meat or a pound of meat when you buy it, bar of soap, bar of chocolate, a piece of chocolate, a piece of cheese, piece of furniture. You just have to learn them. Sorry. Okay, so here are ones that are tricky if you're learning the language. These are the ones that people make mistakes on. So accommodation is uncountable. It's more of a British word. Americans don't use it that much. Again, here is advice. Keep repeating this because we want you to remember. Bread, uncountable. So you can't say a bread. Equipment, you can't say an equipment. That's wrong. Furniture, homework, information, not countable. Luggage is not countable. Do you know that word? Luggage is like a suitcase is a piece of luggage. Money, news, research, travel. We cannot say a travel. I went on a travel. That's wrong. We would say I went on a trip. A trip is one travel. Okay, and weather and work, uncountable. You just have to remember those. Whew. So again, these are some tricky nouns. Some are countable, some are uncountable. Can you remember which is which? Just look at them, try to remember, and drag them into the correct box. Right, let's check your answers. Let's check your answers. Here we go. Here we go. Homework, hair, money, advice. Assignment is countable. A lie is countable. The truth is not. Advice, information, and traffic. Here's something a little tricky. We can count lies. 1 lie, 2 lies, 3 lies, but we say the truth. We think of the truth as something that is one big thing. However, recently, some people have said you can count truths like, I'm going to tell you 2 truths, but it's not very common, so you don't have to remember it. Also, hair. If I'm talking about all of my hair, uncountable. But if I say, this is 1 hair, 2 hairs, then it's countable. Altogether, uncountable. Just 1, countable. It's a little tricky. Remember we said a noun is a person, a place, a thing, or idea. It's a naming word. Here's the tricky bit. Countable, singular or plural, and uncountable. Right. Let's think about Japanese. What about nouns in Japanese? Do you have singular, plural, countable, or uncountable? How does that work? Can you explain it? Here's what I found out. Tell me if I'm right. This says, Japanese language lacks plurals, doesn't have plurals. Plural words are usually either preceded, that means comes before, a counter, like hitori. Am I saying that right? Futari. That's how you count a thing in Japanese, right? Of course, you are the expert, but remember, it's a really good idea to take a minute and think about, how is this the same in Japanese? How is this different in English? And that will help you to remember the differences. Right? Now, here is the really tricky part. Articles. Articles, a, an, and the, they define a noun as specific or unspecific. We're going to talk more about this today and next week because it's kind of tricky, it's kind of difficult. Okay, so if I say, after the long day, the cup of tea tasted particularly good. When we say the here, by using the article the, we've shown it was one specific day that was long and one specific cup of tea that tasted good. The means specific. Now, if we say, after a long day, a cup of tea tastes particularly good, we mean that in general. Not one day that I'm thinking about and you're thinking about, but just any day, any cup of tea tastes good. So that is the main difference. Some people like to give you lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of rules. But if you just keep this in mind, specific is the, general is a, that will help you to keep them straight. Okay, so some nouns in English need an article, a, an, or the. Sometimes there's no article. That little sign right there means no article. Let's talk about that. Here we go. There are 3 things you need to think about when you're deciding which article. Is the noun countable or uncountable? Is the noun singular or plural? And does the listener know? Does the listener know means, is this a specific thing? If the listener knows, specific. If the listener does not know, it's general. Okay, a little tricky, but we'll get there. Does the listener know what I'm talking about? Remember, an plus a singular countable noun, singular countable, means one of many. I'm talking about one because a means one, but it's many, many things, and it's general, and the listener doesn't know what I'm talking about. The can be singular or plural, countable or uncountable, specific. You know and I know which one we are talking about, or which ones we are talking about. We use no article when we're talking about plural nouns and uncountable nouns, and we mean in general. So, let me get out of here. So, we use an when we're talking about something for the first time, because you don't know it, or it's one of many things. We use the when we know which one you mean. It's specific. For example, I ate a banana. Do you know which one? No. Do you care? No. A banana, general. Here, I ate the banana, or I ate the bananas. Notice, it can be singular or plural. I ate the fruit. I use the because you know and I know which one we're talking about. The listener knows. Bananas are good for you. That means bananas in general. Not one banana, but all bananas in general. Fruit is good for you. So here we go again. The most common example of this, we use a when we say, I have a cat, right? The listener doesn't know. The cat is big and fat. I use the because before I told you a, and now I'm telling you the. That means we move from general to specific. The first time, a. The second time, the. All right, I just bought a car. The car is fast and red. See how it moves from one to the other? If I start with the car is fast and red, you will say, wait, what car? I don't know what you're talking about. But if we start with this, then I'm with you. I understand. Okay, so remember, countable or uncountable, singular or plural, does the listener know? How do we know if the listener knows? So sometimes we know the listener knows if there's only one. Look, the sun is bright today. If I say that, you know which one because there's only one sun. So I start with the sun because we both know which one. The vice president is speaking. There's one vice president that I'm thinking of, and you know that one. Okay, Kamala Harris. Okay, he is the cutest guy in the class. The cutest. When we use superlatives, the cutest, the tallest, the fastest, the funniest, when we use superlatives, we use the. Because if it says EST, right, the most interesting, then we know there's only one. How do you know if the listener knows? Let's think about what we know because we know each other. So here is a couple. Aren't they cute? They're so sweet. Here is a couple, and one of them, I'm in the way. One of them says, let's go to the park. Now, we can say the park because we are a couple and we love each other and we know what we're thinking, and there's only one park that we go to, so you know which one I'm thinking of. The doctor called. There's only one that we're thinking of. I have to go to the grocery store. There's one that we are thinking of. Because we have the same ideas and we know each other, when I say the, you know which one I mean. Okay. How do you know if the listener knows? Sometimes we explain it. The pen on the table is purple. Now if I say on the table, I'm telling you which one, so you know, and I know, because I told you. There is only one pen on the table, so you know which one. The guy I met last night is going to call me. I met last night tells you which guy. There's only one guy I met last night, so you know which one. Now maybe you met 2 or 3 or 4 guys. Then you would say, a guy I met last night is going to call me. The guy with the long hair, for example. A guy means there's more than one. The guy means there's one that we are both thinking of. Right. Here's an important tip for you. Singular countable nouns must always have a determiner. It means an article or a possessive or something in front of it. We'll talk more about those somethings in the next week. Look at these sentences. Find the singular countable nouns. Right, here they are. Dog, joke, friend, coffee shop, corner. Those are all singular countable nouns. And remember, we said singular countable noun must always have a determiner, article, possessive, something in front of it. So, she has dog, that's wrong. Okay, all of these are missing something. What are they missing? Here's an example. She has a dog. I told a joke. My friend lives in Seattle. There's a coffee shop on the corner. All you need to know is this is the most common mistake with articles, to have a singular countable noun that doesn't have an article or another kind of thing in front of it. Important tip. That's how you fix a lot of your mistakes. Find the singular countable noun, make sure it has an article or something. Okay. Whew. Let's practice. Here we go. Read the sentences. Fill in the blanks with a, and, the, or no article. Go. Okay, let's practice. Now, fill in the blanks with a, and, the, or no article. Now, if you're going to make it no article, you have to use a little hyphen. The hyphen is on your keyboard just after the 0 on that top bar. At least that's where the hyphen is on my keyboard. So just put a little hyphen, nothing else, if there is no article. Okay, go. Right, I want to take a little break because you must be very, very tired. 10-minute break, and I want you to pause this video and go outside and relax for 10 minutes. Here's some ideas. Watch a YouTube video, maybe dance around your room, maybe go outside, maybe stretch, just kind of stretch. Anytime you get your body moving, your brain is going to be moving too. I really want you to go and take a break, because if you go away and then come back, then your brain is going to be ready. Okay? Go. Right. Are you ready? Are you ready? Okay. Take a deep breath. You're all ready to go now, and let's do this. Here we go. We're going to practice. Remember what you did before the break. Now we're going to check your answers. I bought a new TV set yesterday. It's the first time I'm telling you. I think the man over there is really sick. When I say over there, I'm telling you which one. I watched the movie you told me about. You told me about. I'm telling you which one. She was wearing a beautiful pink dress. Do you want to go to the restaurant where we first met? That's why we use the, because we're thinking of the same one. She's a nice girl. Are you coming to the party? He's the party next Saturday. I tell you which one. He's an engineer. Here's something tricky. We always use a or an with a profession. I'm a teacher. He's an accountant. She's a doctor. Like that. He thinks that love is what will save us all. Not the love, not a love, but love in general. Right? Nice job. Okay. Now, pronunciation. Articles are often reduced, and that makes them kind of hard to hear. The reason that when you're learning English, it's hard to remember articles is because when you're hearing English, it's really hard to hear them, which is why I suggest you read a lot. When you're reading, you might notice those articles more. Reading will really help your grammar. Listen to the sentences and write the article that you hear them say. A, and, the, or no article. Again, use the hyphen for no article. Listen and fill in the blanks.
I like the blue t-shirt over there better than the red one.
That car can do over 150 miles an hour.
Where's the USB drive I lent you last week?
Do you still live in Seattle?
Does your mum work in an old office building?
Ben has the worst headache.
The tomatoes are 99 cents a pound.
What do you usually have for breakfast?
Carol's father works as an electrician.
After this tour, you have the whole afternoon free to explore the city.
Okay, let's check your answers. I like the blue shirt better than the red one. The car can do over 150 miles an hour. That "and" becomes very small. Miles an hour. Where's the USB drive Where's the USB drive I lent you last week? Do you still live in Seattle? No article. Does your mom work in an old office building? Ben has the worst headache. Tomatoes are 99 cents a pound. What do you usually have for breakfast? Carol's father works as an electrician. After this tour, you have the whole afternoon to explore the city. There we go. Oh, she's an electrician, by the way. Error correction. You'll see a pair of sentences. Click on the sentence that's written correctly. She is wearing headphones. She's wearing a headphones. Which is right? Yes, the first one. She's wearing headphones. Right. How about these? Let's check your answers. Is she a singer? Remember, singular countable noun must always have article or a determiner. She has a headache. The listener doesn't know which one, so it has to be a headache. We discussed the plan. Because plan is a singular countable noun, has to have an article or something. Now, we're almost done. You took a break right before the end, but I want you to be here while I explain this. You are going to do another speaking, a Zoom speaking, but this time you are going to meet your partners and take one quiz all together. Don't open the quiz until you are all together on Zoom. Don't look at it before you meet. So once you meet, then you can open the quiz. Okay? I mean it. Don't look at it. Actually, you can't look at it until you're all together, because then I will know. Because you can only take that quiz once. If you take it once, then I will see your name. Okay, right. Let's meet all together. The quiz is not up here in Google Classroom. It's way down at the bottom in a folder called General. I'll show it to you later. You're going to meet first on Zoom, say hi, everybody get together, then one person will share their screen and open the quiz. Everybody, don't open it. Just one person. One person, open the quiz and share your screen, and then everyone should be looking at one person's screen, not at the quiz on a screen on your phone. One person, share your screen, everybody look at that quiz. You're going to write all of your names on the quiz, and you're going to read each question out loud. Remember, you're recording this, so you will do it while I watch you do it. You're going to read the questions out loud and then talk about the answers together and decide what the best answer is. Now, don't have one person just say, it's A, it's B, it's this. Talk together and try to agree about the correct answer. Be sure that all of the speakers can be seen on the side of the screen. So sometimes you look at that screen and you can only see the speaker on the side, but you have to choose side-by-side mode. Let me show you what that looks like. There. See, in English it says view options and then side-by-side mode. I don't know what it's called in Japanese, I'm sorry. But be sure we can see all of the speakers. Now, your grade is going to be based on you talking together. So be sure to talk about the answers. Don't just say, this is the answer. Say why this is the answer. And this means if you get 100% on your quiz, like your quiz is perfect, but you don't talk, your score will be low. Your score is based on you talking and on how you do on the quiz. And also, I want you to talk a lot and I want you to have fun. This is a little bit of review because you're going to have a big quiz at the end. So I want to be sure you're doing well on this. This is what it looks like. Under General, way at the bottom of Google Classroom, you will see Zoom recording quiz for class 7. Click on that one. I'm not going to show you an example because you know how to do this, but do those usual things. Say hi, say your names. Hi, Bridget, my name's Minako. Of course, you know your names, and I'm still learning your names. Talk a lot. Take turns. Don't have one person talk all the time. If you know the answer, say, what do you think, to someone else. Use English, of course, no Japanese, no French, no German, and have fun. I love to see you guys laughing and joking and having a really good conversation. Now, I want to show you some ideas about the language I'm expecting. You should ask each other, what do you think, Yumi? I think the answer is the first one, or the second one, or the third one, because give your reasons. Oh, you can disagree with each other. I'm not sure. I think it might be the second one because... But remember the video, Bridget said advice is always uncountable, didn't she? Let's skip this one and come back to it later. If you can't think of the answer, that's okay. Just pass. Give each other praise. Good idea. Nice one. I like that. Well done. I know this one. The answer is the last answer. You can ask each other, are you sure? I'm sure. Oh, I'm not sure. Okay, we haven't heard from Yumi yet. If you have 4 people in your group, or 3, and one person is being quiet, it's your job to include them. So, don't just wait for them to talk. Ask them to talk. We haven't heard from Yumi yet. Yumi, will you read the next one? So you'll take it in turns to read. Which one should I choose? If you are the person who is sharing your screen, you will be clicking on the buttons, but don't click on them until everyone agrees. Let's do the next one. That's a picture of, there are going to be pictures in your quiz, so you can talk about the pictures.